and stuff. So first we went there. They're so happy. I mean, the first thing sometimes I contribute a little bit here as well. So you go there and you interact with someone, you see the kind of happiness they have. Like they're somehow feeling that, okay, we know Varosha, we know some people in Chicago, some people say Chicago and stuff like that, and they say someone from so far away visit them, and that's really entirely delighted them. So, and specifically we speak in Bengali, and then she doesn't know much Bengali, but we translate each other, and they're also very delighted to see her, and actually my niece is also there. So we had a lot of experiences and a lot of good interactions. We spent the entire day there. We planned to stay a couple of hours, then we went to another centers, and then I'll show some of the pictures and small videos about that. Now I hand over to Shayoni that you just tell them like, as a being born here and not being much exposed other than as a tourist to India or Kolkata, what do you feel, how do you feel, and how Varosha gives you a different kind of dimension of your thought process?
Okay, so first of all, I would like to thank my parents for giving me such an opportunity to experience how these people have had such an effect on the unfortunate events that happened to them. And I'd like to thank the Varosha team for letting me have this experience and share my experience to you. And so, as my dad said, I was born and raised in America, and I was always surrounded by these luxuries and these constants in my life, in which I thought were always in everybody else's. From having a supportive family to having a warm bed to sleep in at night. But when I saw Varosha and their students and their team, it was such an eye-opening moment for me to see how these people are so affected. And as I went there, I went to Chupanalo, and I saw these people who danced like me, and they had such a raw passion, and they had so much energy, and they gave everything 110% to every dance they did, every move they made. And that really inspired me because my parents always pushed me to do things. And these people who had no role models, no place to live, no place to sleep, they did it just by their inner selves. And that's hopefully what I happen to have someday.
Individually clean.
Really? I thought Apple is smaller than Windows.
Yeah, that's what I thought.
You can do slideshow mode, it's not a slideshow.
But this is not a PowerPoint. This is a...
No, but if you the entire set of the files, right here,
select them all.
select them all and click slideshow.
This is one of the people that I saw firsthand experience, who did this amazing dance right in front of us. And so hopefully my dad will show you the video.
This is that I forgot his name. He performed in front of us, impromptu. We just wanted, and this is the entire student and entire teachers on the left hand side. He's amazing, isn't it? He's just amazing.
This is another example of the people we saw, the young girls that we saw, who had such a passion for dancing, and the expression in their face showed that they were happy to do it. Yeah, okay, so I also went to Puvaralo, which I met these amazing girls right here, and as we were talking, communicating, and interacting, they willingly gave me a lehenga, a beautiful lehenga, in which I still wear to this day. Probably one of the most special gifts I've ever received, that they hand-stitched and made for me.
One correction, they didn't give. So the story goes like that. So that is the first day we went to interact with them, and then we talked to them. They liked us, and then they showed us kind of their dream and how they want to be in the fashion design and stuff. And then she was asking, "Oh, can you make this? Can you make this?" Then they're very excited. They say, "Okay, let us make something for you." So we are there in Kolkata just for 7 days. So they stitched something for her just in 5 days. And actually, that happens to be, this is one of the reality show I own. So I came back there again to celebrate with them. So that time they presented that to her.
I'll show you a picture of the lehenga I made.
What you see on
so as my dad was saying, one of their like lifelong goals, lifelong ambitions was to, they were all in like the same Varosha like center, and so they all became lifetime friends. And they all wanted to open a sari store together and have like models like model their saris and like run the runway. And so that made me realize that without Varosha's help, they wouldn't have had this dream, this lifelong dream that which they could actually pursue. Like without Varosha's help, all they would think of for their goal would just be financially stable, to have food on their plate, to be secure. But now they can be more than just average. They can be successful in what they actually do.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you so much, Shouvik, Shayoni. That was really an awesome story that you shared with us. And now, our GUI, Dr. Shubhani Sanyal, is going to do some presentations, and that will be followed by quiz. And I hope all of you are listening carefully to the presentations.
গরিষ্ঠ সাধারণ গুণনীয়
লসাগু হচ্ছে লঘিষ্ঠ বাংলা করেছো তুমি বাংলা করেছো
লঘিষ্ঠ সাধারণ গুণনীয় এলসিএম
আমরা ছোটবেলায়
গরিষ্ঠ সাধারণ গুণনীয়